Potential reroute of Enbridge's Line 5 crude oil pipeline went before the public today, years after the Bad River Band called for the pipeline to be removed from its northwest Wisconsin land. Now, in this map, the yellow line that you see there shows where the pipeline currently runs, from Superior to south of Ashland and into the UP. It runs right through the blue shaded area, which is the Bad River Reservation. Now, that dotted line you see is a proposed pipeline reroute running around Bad River. Northern News Now's Michaela Wrench was at today's public hearing talking to people both for and against the move.
The pipeline currently runs through areas of the land in northern Wisconsin belonging to the Bad River Band. Some members say even with the reroute, they worry about the pipeline's impacts to surrounding areas.
Stop the trespassing. Stop the violence. It's illegal trespassing. They have been told to leave. Bad River does not want you there.
Renee Ann Goodrich is a Bad River tribal member who has significant concerns about the pipeline.
Line 5 needs to be shut down immediately, especially the pipeline that's on Bad River.
Several years ago, the band sued, asking Enbridge to move it off their land. Since then, Enbridge has sought permits to relocate and build a new 40-mile segment of its oil pipeline around the reservation.
Without Line 5, there would be a significant impact to not only the fuel, but definitely the natural gas liquids. That would raise prices, it could cause shortages.
Jennifer Smith is the director of tribal engagement with Enbridge. She says she fields a lot of questions about what Enbridge can do to protect waterways and nature, and that protecting the environment is top of mind in all the work they do.
We all have the same desire and same need as humans to protect that environment and keep the water clean, not impact it.
In Ashland, Michaela Wrench, Northern News Now.
Michaela, thank you. Now, no final decision on the project will be made until the public comments period ends on July 5th, but this date could be extended if needed.